You guys ready for this House of Games 2? Leave a fire emoji. We about to break down the lyrics. So, all right. So before I even play the beat. So the reason how I came up with this beat, there's a movie called House of Games. You can look it up on the internet. It's called House of Games. It's a movie starring Joe Montana or something like that. I forget his name. But anyway, it's about this con man. And I love the movie. And there's a part in the movie when they're escaping the hotel and these pianos come in. And I was like, yo, that sounds so dope. I always wanted, because back when I was rapping back in the day, we loved this movie and we kind of made a beat from it. But I was just like, you know what? I wanted to sample that. So I had the idea for the beat. So I went over my boy's house, my production partner, Mike Blankenship. We found the clip online, and I was like, I want you to replay this because he's a piano player. He replayed the piano, and this is this piano right here. Here we go. So I was like, yo, I want you to play this piano. I want you to follow it like that. So he played that, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to sample. We sampled Biggie. Shout out to Edwin Logan. I appreciate that. We sampled Biggie Smalls, Who Shot Ya? So we sampled Biggie Smalls, Who Shot Ya? So that's where we got the drums from. So we basically, it's a combination between Biggie Smalls, Who Shot Ya, and House of Games. We put it together, and this is the beat that you get. Let's break it down. Yeah. Shout out to Leon Taylor. Stick a fork in his corpse, cordially court and source in his portion for organs. Stick a fork in his corpse, cordially court and source in his portion for organs, give metaphors and abortion. So I'm just playing with words. Stick a fork in his corpse. Hold on, let's bring it back. Stick a fork in his corpse, cordially court and source in his portion for organs, give metaphors and abortion. So I'm sourcing his portion for organs. So I'm harvesting his organs. I'm just talking from a metaphorical, like, yo, I'm about to commit lyrical surgery on whoever is in front of me, and I'm gonna take his organs. I'm gonna use his organs. I'm gonna harvest his organs. And a portrait of poor sportsman endorsing remorse towards him. A portrait of poor sportsman, a portrait of poor sportsman. That's what this rapper is. You a portrait of poor sportsman. My torches vocal cords till his course is the four horsemen. Torches vocal cords till his course is the four horsemen. The four horsemen is what you see in the Bible before the end of times. The four horsemen. So basically, I'm sending you to your demise, to your death. Your core is forcing and raw, but I'm bored snoring. Your core is forced, but your core fan base, they roar. Hold on, let's bring it back. Cordially court and sourcing his portion for organs, give metaphors and abortion, a portrait of poor sportsman, endorsing remorse towards him. My torches vocal cords till his course is the four horsemen. Endorsing remorse towards him, I torch his vocal cords till his course is the four, endorsing remorse towards him. So I endorse the remorse that you have, because he's about to die. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is done. Your core is forcing and raw, but your core is forcing. That means your core fan base is forcing. They're forcing, like, yo, this guy is dope, but you're not dope to me. You're trash. But even though your core fan base is like, yo, this guy's dope. I'm bored snoring, the smorgasbord of endorphins. I'm bored snoring. So when they're cheerleading for this motherfucker, and I'm just like, nah, I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn down the lights a little bit. So basically, I'm bored. Like, I'm bored snoring. So, like, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this shit. I'm Dorf your Dorf swordsman. Hold on, let's bring it back. Vocal cords in his course is the four horsemen. Your core is forcing and raw, but I'm bored snoring. The smorgasbord of endorphins, I'm Dorf your Dorf swordsman. A smorgasbord of endorphins, I'm Dorf your Dorf swordsman. So it's a smorgasbord, like a buffet of endorphins. You know, endorphins are the things that make, you release endorphins to make you feel good. So when I rap, it's a smorgasbord of inspiration And I'm dwarfing your dwarf swordsmen. So, you know, I'm just basically saying, like, your warriors, whoever you got going to war for you, I dwarf them. They're small. They're nothing to me. Make sure you guys hit the link in the description and make a donation so we can keep on doing this. The Cash App is I Am Lock.
I retort, but of course never course forward. I'm more of a more.
I retort. That means I retort. I come back. I rebuttal whatever you're talking.
Your course forcing ain't raw, but I'm bored snoring. The smorgasbord of endorphins, I'm dwarfing your dwarf swordsman. I retort, but of course never course forward. I'm more of a more, that's why my rapports discord forward.
I'm more of a more, that's why my rapports discord for it. So I'm more of a more. So I'm Muslim, and you know, if you know who the Moors are the Muslims in North Africa who conquered Europe. So I'm saying I'm more of a more. That's why my discord, that's why my rapports discord for it. So I have discord for you motherfuckers. For you whack rappers.
I retort, but of course never course forward. I'm more of a more. That's why my rapports discord forward. I'm forming a fort, forcing proportions that pour forward.
I'm forming a fort, which means I'm forming a fort. I'm forming you know, things to isolate me from you guys, to protect me from all your bullshit.
Sort of a forfeit to your orifice, you poor bitch.
Sort of a forfeit to your orifice. You know, orifice is like your mouth, your nose, your asshole. Like, shout out to Ethan Brownback who made a donation. But basically, to your sort of a forfeit to your orifice, you poor bitch. So this is like a you giving up, you giving in. You can't handle this shit. So this is like a forfeit to your orifice. So you just might as well give it up because I'm about to get in your ass, basically.
Forfeit, trying to spit with this nigga, I forewarned him. Waging a war, the core of Muhammad or George Foreman.
Waging a war, the core of Muhammad or George Foreman. So I'm talking about Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. That was the war, you know, the rumble in the jungle, Zaire, where Muhammad Ali, everybody thought Muhammad Ali was going to lose and that he was going to, because George Foreman was the young fighter. He was the young fighter. You know what I'm saying? And Muhammad Ali was like a little older. But I'm like, yo, I'm sort of waging a war like Muhammad or George Foreman. So that's what I'm talking about, like Muhammad or George Foreman.
Orifice, you poor bitch. Forfeit, trying to spit with this nigga, I forewarned him. Waging a war, the core of
Muhammad or George Foreman.
Performing vocal expressions that question the status quo.
Performing vocal expressions that question the status quo. So the shit that I'm spitting, I'm challenging or I'm questioning the status quo of what dope hip hop is supposed to be.
George Foreman performing vocal expressions that question the status quo and having no sense of worth when you barely can pack a show.
Inhabit no, so basically I'm talking about myself. Inhabit no sense of worth when you barely can pack a show. Because when I wrote this, I had never been on tour before. I was like barely doing shows, and I'm just like, that's how I felt. I can't even, you know, I can't even pack a show. I can't get people like I just want to spit. I want motherfuckers to hear me. So that's the feeling that I had. You know, sort of the feelings you have when you inhabit when you barely can pack a show.
Distracted by the fact that I was too rapid, impacted by the shit that people say, but instead left amplified it.
Hold on.
And having no sense of worth
when you barely can pack a show. Distracted by the fact that I was too rabid. Rabid is like not rapid, not rapid, rabid. So basically like just crazed. So I was distracted by the fact that I was too rabid, impacted I was distracted by the fact that I was too enraged with that frustration and not being able to pack a show. And the shit that people said. So distracted by the fact that I was too rabid, impacted by the shit that people said, but instead left amplified. So basically just upset with the not getting credit, being distracted by the shit that people say about me. 8 Mile pun. No, I said rabid, not rabbit, not rabbit, rabid. R-A-B-B-I-D or R-A-B-I-D, R-A-B-B-I-D, rabid. But instead, niggas want a response, my response keep waiting. Fools rush in. Fools rush in. Smart niggas keep patient. So like when you're so upset, you're emotional, you don't think, you don't plan shit out, you just rush in. That's something that a fool would do. A smart person is calculated.
Chasing the next man, the best plan developed wrong.
Fuck rushing the freestyle, my nigga, make a better song.
Freestyle, my nigga, make a better song.
So, okay, so I'll give you another look. So when I first wrote this track, the song Control. Remember that song Control that Kendrick Lamar, the Control freestyle, the Control verse that Kendrick Lamar, and everybody was going crazy like, oh, Kendrick Lamar is going to all these rappers. And I was like, yeah, Kendrick is dope, but I didn't think that verse was that dope. And everybody was like, yo, Locksmith, you need to make a Control rebuttal. You need to make a Control rebuttal. So I was like, man, I don't want to jump on it. I want to make my own beat. So I actually wrote part of this verse. When I first started writing this verse, I wrote it to the Control beat. And I was like, fuck that. These bars are too dope. I don't want to put it over a Control beat. I don't want this to be a freestyle. I want to put it on a song. So I made sure that the tempo that I rapped, that when I made this beat, it was the same tempo as the Control beat or close to it. So, yeah, that's how we got it. So now we're going to go into Ari the Rugged Man's verse, which I can't, that's his verse. I can't break it down, but we'll listen to it. And so, so let me break it down, Ari the Rugged Man. I met Ari the Rugged Man in New York City in Manhattan. I was doing a show with Ski Beats. And Ari the Rugged Man was there. He was there at the show. And after I finished rocking, that was my first, was that my first time performing in New York? I got off the stage and Ari just was like, yo, Locksmith, yo, that shit was dope, bro. You a dope MC. Ari the Rugged Man. I was like, oh shit, thank you so much, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just met. I don't know if we exchanged numbers at that time, but we definitely was. I was like, bro, man, thank you so much. I think we followed each other on social media. And then that's when we first met. So then fast forward to a couple years later, I don't know how we end up following each other on social media or something like that, or I was doing freestyles or something, and we end up following each other, and I DM'd, and I was like, yo, bro, I got this song, because I had already had the first verse. The verse I had already had that done. I was just going to make it like a freestyle, like one verse, but then I was just like, yo, R.A. said if I ever wanted, I think he can get on. So I sent him this shit. He was like, yo, this shit is fire. And I sent him my verse and the beat, and he sent back this verse.
I don't know what to say.
No chorus.
Yo, one round, Roger Mayweather, Rocky Lockridge. You better to rock within the Locksmith. Stop it with the gossip, sweat when the clock talk. Check the plot, got dick the bomb like the rhyme that I kick. Body bashing, bruised, broken bones, bloody mosh pit. Truth telling is labeled hate speeches. These poisonous brain leeches smack the principles and
rape the fake teachers. Woo! When I heard that shit, I was like, yo, he sounds fucking incredible on this shit. He killed this shit so dope. And what's crazy is he sent me his verse back and I added some more stuff. Like we added like some guitars and I sent it to him. He was like, nah, you need to keep it the way it was. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm glad he was right about that because I added more music to it. Maybe I'll play that version if I could find it one day. The version where I had like all the musical shit on it. And but it sounds more raw this way. You know what I'm saying?
Hypocritical Hollywood hoodlums that make features, political pandering preachers that desecrate Jesus, dumbing down the society, everything is
oversimplified.
Cowards are put on pedestals and heroes are villainized.
Cowards are put on pedestals, heroes are villainized. Ooh, I mean, that's self-explanatory. Make sure you guys hit the link in the description, make a donation, hit the Cash App so we can keep on doing stuff like this. If you guys enjoy this, you guys think this is dope, breaking down these lyrics, make sure you hit the link in the description and make a donation.
My organization, untouchable force, ice mix mastering, life shit's baffling, fights bitch staggering, toss this white dick javelin, dispatch.
Toss this white dick javelin. I love that line. That shit is so crazy.
Every lyrical diss catching them, distracting them, pistol packing, click clacking them. You can't claim title with no win first. You a bigger pussy than the pussy when it give birth.
You a bigger pussy than the pussy when it give birth. When we did the video for this, I made sure I threw in a clip. There was this one episode of the Cosby Show where it was like the men were giving birth to see what it would be like to be like a woman, have to go through childbirth. And I made sure I took that clip and put it in there. That shit was funny.
Keeping the poor in the prison, rhyme like a 90s cat from
Walkers was spitting.
Reflection eternal, a Nas in the source it was written, not influenced by any
corporate decision.
I ignore your opinion. I'm the gold above Fraser, Norton, Foreman, and Lifton.
So that verse was fucking ill. Shout out to Ari the Rugged Man. He killed that. And also he was like once he laid his verse, he was like, yo, Lock, if you want to do a video, I'm coming to LA in a couple weeks, we should do it. I hit up my man. I was like, yo, we got to do this video with Ari the Rugged Man. He was down there doing some stuff in LA. Me and my boy, we drove down to LA. That was my first time like hanging out with him. He was just super cool. We were actually, I think I met him the night before we shot the video. We met him and his sister and Eamon, you know, Eamon who sings. We all met up at this Mexican restaurant on Sunset. We had a nice dinner. And then we went to a comedy club. We hung out at the comedy club. And then the next day I went and picked him up. We shot a video. And ever since then, me and R.A. been close friends, man. Every time he comes to L.A., I hang out with him. He came to the Bay Area. He had a show. I went and, you know, rock with him on stage. I had him come over, you know, hang out at my crib. He's just a good dude. When in Germany, when we go on tour, I stayed at his house in Germany. Just a great guy. And we got some more stuff on the way. But now we're going to break down my third verse. So once R.A. put his verse on it, I was just like, okay, I already had the freestyle that was just me, and now that RA is on it, I was like, well, I'm going to call it House of Games 2 because I already had House of Games 1 that was just me. So when RA got on it, I was like, oh, I'm going to call this House of Game 2, and I wanted to add another verse so people would have something extra. So I just, basically, when I started writing my verse, I just followed RA's pattern of what he was already doing.
Laws of religion cause the hordes of division, doors of admission causing the friction, inscription like the walls of Egypt.
So basically I'm saying the laws of religion, hold on, let's break it down. So I'm saying like the laws of religion cause division. So basically people, because of their faith, sometimes people when they believe in a certain religion or something, they're so like only blinded by their faith that they can't, they let that divide people. We should all be understanding and love one another regardless of whatever religion or cultural background you're from. So.
Laws of religion cause the hordes of division.
Laws of religion cause the hordes of division.
Doors of admission causing the friction, inscription like the walls of Egyptians.
Doors of admission causing friction like the walls of Egyptians. So like the hieroglyphics on Egyptian walls.
Laws of religion cause the hordes of division, doors of admission causing the friction, inscription like the walls of Egyptians. Paint a portrait like the Lord of the Christians, taint and altered his pigment.
Paint a picture like the Lord of the Christians, taint and altered his pigment. So basically like Lord of the Christians, I'm talking about Jesus Christ, how basically Europeans Europeanize what Jesus looked like. So they made Jesus like blonde hair and blue eyes and painted all this stuff. So they tainted and altered his pigment. That's one of the things that caused these divisions.
False depiction got us all in the prison.
This false depiction got us all in the prison. So basically, when black people, when Africans were forced to convert to Christianity, they were taught to worship and follow this white version of Jesus. And it kept them, and that's my interpretation is that that's a form of mental slavery.
But it ain't no God in the system. Can't evolve in conditions where they write me off as being off and left my thoughts in perdition.
But it ain't no God in the system. Can't evolve in conditions where they write me off as being off and left my thoughts in perdition. So my thoughts were in perdition. My thoughts were like, just like stuck in this purgatory.
Cause the hordes of division, doors of admission causing the friction, inscription like the walls of Egyptians. Paint a portrait like the Lord of the Christians, taint and altered his pigment. False depiction got us all in the prison. But
Jesus was not a Jew. He was a Hebrew. There's a difference between that. He was a Hebrew.
But it ain't no God in the system. Can't evolve in conditions where they write me off as being off and left my thoughts in perdition. Bitching, often with grapple, tackle this road to no progression. Claiming you atheists, but still worship your possessions.
Often with grapple, tackle this road to no progression. Claiming you atheists, but still worship your possessions. So my belief is, this is just my personal opinion. When everybody believes in something, everybody has a God. Some people say, oh, I don't believe in God. Well, you may not believe in like this mystical deity called God, but you believe in something. So whatever the thing is that controls you, whatever, like if all you love is money and you work your whole life for money, then that's your God. If all you want is cars and fancy women, if all you do is you chase after women, you chase after sex, or you chase after men, or whatever it is, that's your God. So, claiming you atheists but still worship your possessions, that means you worship something. So whatever that thing is that you worship, that's your God. Claiming you atheists but still worship your progression. Hold on. This is a difficult rhyme we gotta listen very closely to this. Road to no progression. Claiming you atheists but still worship your possession. Ground broke with a downstroke and ground broke with a downstroke and ground broke. I haven't spit this third verse in so long. Ground broke with a downstroke and a noun spoke in the town folk. So ground broke with a downstroke and a noun spoke for the town folk. This is gonna carry into the next part, and it makes sense. Scrounge foe and a bound rope but found no amount spoke. So basically, I'm talking about the Vatican in Rome and all the shit that gets covered up in the Catholic Church. Sex trafficking out the Vatican rather than found hope, profound smoke. Sex trafficking out the Vatican. So a lot of people know there's a lot of cover up to child molestation and things like that happens. And that the Catholic Church that they knew about and they covered it up. Instead of putting these priests in jail, they would just move them to other churches or move them to other parish. And so that's basically my comment on that. So profound smoke from burning oaths. You thought they found a new pope. So, you know, when they declare a new pope, they burn smoke, and everybody knows when it's time, like when they decide on they let the smoke out. It's either white smoke or black smoke. So basically, I'm burning down that system, the lies that are hidden in that system. So when you see that smoke, people thinking it's a new pope, but really I'm burning down the system that's perpetuating this abuse, sexual abuse. Amount flow, sex trafficking out in the Vatican rather than found hope. Profound smoke from burning oaths. You thought they found a new pope. Black chemical signified to symbolize the masses rally. Screenshot of a rap blog. Black chemical signified to symbolize the masses rally. Screenshot of a rap blog saw the image of Aleister Crowley. So people who know who Aleister Crowley is, he's like the head of the Satanic Church. So basically, I'm saying like all this shit that you see on rap blogs, all this promoting negative shit, you might as well be worshiping the devil. That's basically what I'm saying. Profound smoke from burning oaths. You thought they found a new pope. Was signified to symbolize the massive tally. Screenshot of a rap blog saw the image of Aleister Crowley. So basically, I'm saying I'm Machiavelli, that's strong as the purest dope of this rapper from out of Cali. So that's basically what I'm saying. I'm just saying like, yo, the last end, I'm just ending it off with like some dope hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying like I'm dope as you know what I'm saying? I'm dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like sniffing dope. You know what I mean? I'm dope as Machiavelli. So yeah, there it is, man. House of Games 2. You know what I'm saying? Featuring my man, Ari the Rugged Man. We broke that down for you guys. I hope y'all fuck with that. If you guys feeling that song, leave a fire emoji. Leave a fire emoji if you feeling that shit. If you feeling that shit, if you feeling House of Games 2, leave a fire emoji. Yeah, man, because when I'm writing it, I'm just writing. But when I go back and listen to it, because I don't really perform this song that much anymore because I had so many songs. Last time I performed it, as a matter of fact, I think it was on tour with Ari the Rugged Man. So when I go back and listen to it now, I'm like, shit, these bars is insane. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the beat was hard. Once I heard that beat, you know what I'm saying? I mean, once we, finished that beat, because the other verse I had kind of wrote before I made the beat, and I made the beat around my verse. But once we had this beat and my second verse, I wrote it to this beat, and the beat was so hard that I just, you know what I mean? I just followed that. Somebody said Illuminati lyrics go harder. I don't know, man. I mean, Illuminati is, has more like depth in that sense, but the wordplay in this shit is crazy.